so you really want to put back what's up there so that you're staying within the code of the commercial building because it's not residential. They have stricter codes. Like all us gutter guys were like real anal. We're like, oh, is the customer gonna like the ribs on the bottom? I don't think they like it. They all love it. What's up, guys? It's Tim and Grant. We're here with the Gutter Growth and podcast, and we want to talk box gutters. What's going on, Grant?
Oh, not much, man. Just another day. Matter of fact, we're going to speak about commercial and box gutters, right? And talk a little bit
Commercial and box gutters, correct?
how these can affect their margins a little bit. I think that's the key to success is understanding how to diversify and getting away from the K's like your humble beginnings, right?
Bottom of the
And
barrel.
then
As far as margins go.
yeah,
And
as far as margins.
saturated, everybody's got those machines. Not
Mhm.
everybody has box gutter machines or knows how to do brake work.
No, very true. The brake work is really important. Hi, this is Grant Hubbard with another Gutter Growth podcast for you. I want you to know that this podcast is sponsored by One Gutter Guard, your exclusive premium guard option. Now enjoy the show. Let's start off with you had some box machines before you exited. You had a really nice selection. I want to ask you, what was the driving force of you so that other people can understand like what took you that direction to know that you needed to invest in those box gutter machines?
I just always liked improving things and I wanted to have other machines. And there was this guy in my territory that had that box gutter machine. He was like the only one. So that's kind of how I even found out about the machine. I didn't even know it was there. Seen his profile a couple of times. But he didn't have the marketing done right on it. So I just don't feel like he, really pushed it in the market. But it was enticing because it was a European 6-inch box gutter machine. It was the first one I bought. And what I loved about it is it runs 15-inch coil. So
Yes.
you're literally running the same gutter, putting it through another machine. And because that machine's more scarce, you can get higher dollars for it.
I like the way you said that. Scarce, right? A lot of people say or think because I paid more for this machine, that is why I am charging more. That
No,
could be a percentage of it, but that's
part
not
of
the
it.
reality, right? I mean, that's okay if you think that way, but change your thinking to the scarcity effect that not everyone has this machine. And that's in fact why you're
It
charging.
puts you in a position to where you're going to get jobs that other people aren't going to get.
Correct.
They're
Correct.
just not going to get it. They don't have it.
So you got that that's what we have currently is the European box, and we really
European box.
enjoy that.
I love that machine.
And I like that you can take they're called pencils, right? Under at the bottom.
Yep.
Those two straight, you can take them out, you can, make them a little deeper, you can make them a little thinner. And there's other pieces you can put there.
I took it off one time on a copper job.
And it did it
And
okay. I'm like
dude,
crazy.
I never took it off again. I never took it off again. Like all us gutter guys were like real anal. We're like, oh, is the customer gonna like the ribs on the bottom? I don't think they like it. They all love it. Once it's up there, I've never had a person complain about the ribs on the bottom. And if someone
No,
asks
maybe.
about it, that's a strength to that gutter because you got such a long bottom. That
Yeah.
rib makes the gutter stronger. And that gutter needs it because the face isn't as strong as a K style face. So I
Yeah,
don't
and I'm not gonna say I do it all the time, and I would do it if it calls for the customer, but I'm in a Texas market. It was the same thing when I was in Florida. We were running 027. You're
Yep.
not gonna do 032. You can, and there's times that customers ask for it, and we make sure we absolutely provide it. So I just want to mention that me and Tim are aware that you can run 032 in these box cutter machines. We're completely aware of
We
that. And
recommend
so,
it. We
yeah,
recommend it. And the reason why is
yeah.
because the face is weaker and it's just the nature of it just being a straight face where the
Hmm.
bends on the K style make the face stronger. So you definitely, when you have that type of machine, you don't want to rest your ladders on it. Not that you should be doing that anyways, but you
Anyway,
really
yeah,
want to do that because you're going to mess up that piece.
very
Um,
true. Very
but what I
true.
loved about it is I got the higher margins. I went from charging, I could charge $10 more a foot on this machine because nobody has it. It's rare. And
Yeah.
the fact that you're running the same 15-inch material through it's relevant.
That's so good. That's a margin secret right there that we're giving to everyone. A lot of people know it. We know a lot of people know it, but do you know it? And now you do, right? So there's your takeaway. Hence gutter growth. We want to make sure you guys grow with us. What else you had? Did you have D style? What else did you have over there?
So then I got the KWM standard box where
Yeah,
it's
that's
still a
right.
6-inch, but it had the lip in the front.
Yeah.
But the thing was, is like, everyone was buying a Euro. So it
That was
just
getting
looked
hot.
like I wasn't selling a whole lot of it down here in Florida. I ended up
Yeah.
selling that machine to David, loved it. And
David
that was
loved it as
actually
that.
that was his first box machine. And then
He
he
loved that
started
thing.
buying everything up,
Yeah, David's a monster for
Yeah, he's a
sure.
beast.
We can't wait to get him on this show. I've asked him a couple times. I know we'll get him. We'll
Yeah.
we'll we'll make it happen. I know the
We'll welcome them
industry,
for you guys.
Da- David, the industry wants you, bro.
Calling
They
you out.
respect you. They're calling you out here. This guy holds a lot of machines, and I know I've inspired him to do some things, but David, you definitely inspire me. You might think I give you a bunch of advice or something. It's just because you asked for it. You want to grow, and I'm constantly thinking of a way to ask David. And when I call on that favor, it's going to be huge because the guy's a
Yep.
wealth of knowledge for sure. Okay, what other machine did you have? Box.
So I did that next. I had that for a little while before I got rid of it. I bought the D style.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
was a nice one. That one
That's that.
I sold a lot of it. And believe it or not, you think you won't ever sell it on residential? I
Come
did.
on now.
Yeah, some of these huge tile roofs. I had the first job I did with it was a $42,000 job on a house
Beautiful.
in Palm
That's
City.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
We're
it was
looking at,
appropriate because it had that huge fascia. Like it was
yeah.
a huge fascia board. And actually, it wasn't even my idea. It was a customer was just dead set on it. And, after it was installed, I'm like, man, that looks really nice. But
The
generally, it's commercial.
that box gutter works a lot of different situations. We're looking at a house yesterday. We met yesterday to look at our first underdecking. Speaking of like higher margin, we're looking at doing an underdecking system
Yep.
with a product that Spectra offers us. And I'm really excited about this project, but this house is like a 912 and it's on a hill, right? So you walk in the front door and then you can go downstairs in the house and come out. They call it split level, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's got another 3 stories from the high side of the split level up at the road, and then the backyard comes out. So it's just insane. It's got all these roofs and valleys, and I'm there doing some training with my solutionist, and I said, "Well, I got some big news, and I'll tell you about it. This is crazy. We're talking about this, but I said, hey, I think we need to put like a 10-inch gutter up there." The customer was a smart guy. He said, no, that makes perfect sense. I just saw your guy showed me the sample of the 6 and said he didn't want that. We definitely
Yeah.
wanted to go 7 all the way around this house. And now you're telling me 10. I love that idea up around that 4th story and that 3rd story to collect the water and then pipe it. We got the spot where we could actually PVC pipe it down the back of the house into some tanks, some water tanks.
Yep.
But having that machine, right? I mean, I think a big discussion is creating the market when you have these machines. You talked about that.
You have to create it. There was no market when I started bringing in the euro and especially the euro. And I guess there was a market for the D style, but what a lot of people were doing was installing that in 20-foot sections or
Right.
even
Just
10-foot
chop.
sections,
Yeah,
and it could have been
absolutely.
seamless. Um,
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's a really valid point. Hey, for you guys watching, we want you to understand we want to give away some sauce to you about these margins on these commercial machines. You do have to know your numbers. Like when we talk about scaling and growth, we're not promising you a bunch of money overnight, right, Tim? I mean,
you're not going to
we're gonna
make
work some
millions of
systems.
dollars your first year. In fact, I had a guy that's jumped in our mastermind last week, and I did my consulting with him because I like to do an
Yeah.
hour prior.
Uh-huh.
And you know, he's doing some numbers, but what's your goals? Because I want to find out what your goals are so I can help you get there. And his goal was a
Yep.
million. I'm like, dude, you're not going to do a million this year. We could double, we could even triple what you're doing,
What you're
but
doing.
it's not going
Yeah.
to be a million the first year. And I'm not saying it's not possible, but scaling really fast is really dangerous. Really
Yes.
dangerous. Because
Yes.
it's more expensive than you think it will when you start scaling. You got to buy trucks. you got to buy machines, you got to,
I'd say it's I mean, on the very low end, $100,000 to get into a small gutter business. And if you want to scale, like for example, what Kip and I did,
I mean,
I
you
mean,
can get
Kip,
in it with,
that's $400,000 to get what we got going.
I got
Plus,
into it with
plus.
$5,000, but guess what? I
Right.
didn't have a truck. I had to spend 6 months borrowing someone's truck. So if you want it bad enough, you can get in. You can be resourceful. But
Yeah.
really, if you're just getting in and you're wanting to do $1 million that year, you better have $100,000 because that's what it's going to take to scale that type of business. You're
I
not going to
mean, it's,
thirty thousand
yeah, it's
dollars.
no, 30, 40, 50
Not those
grand. You're not going to
numbers.
do it.
You could get in for thirty
No.
thousand.
Yeah.
Just don't
And
expect overnight.
you might strike gold, right? We're not saying nobody can, but just we're coaching the average story right here with good support. So back to the commercial side. We want you to get to the commercial side, but we want you to know your numbers first. First,
Man,
once you
how
can
many?
stop worrying about the numbers, then you can go buy these other machines and make these other margins. You got to get the basics first.
Grant, how many times, let's go back in the day before, we got all the experience we did.
Yeah,
How
before
many
all the
times have
fame.
we talked somebody into, you got that, that brake gutter down there. Let's just tear it off and put up case style.
Yes.
I did it. I mean, I did it for
Every
years,
time. That's what
every
we had.
time. And
Yeah.
then I realized,
Hey, and you don't need that commercial gutter. And little did we know they
little did we
did.
know. And, the thing about commercial, what a lot of people don't realize is there's codes to it. And there's reasons why they have certain size gutter, at least in most states. And so you
Mhm.
really want to put back what's up there so that you're staying within the code of the commercial building because it's not residential. They have stricter codes. And you
Yes.
make more money by taking it down and putting up exactly what they have. If they got some type of custom box gutter up there that it's not D style, you can't run it in seamless, but say it's a 10-inch,
Right.
you could take that off, go to a sheet metal shop, have them make it, and taper the ends so you're not fighting to get them in. You got
Yes.
a male, female side. Yeah,
Yeah.
mate, that's important.
That's so
But
important.
so important. But now, I was getting $50, $75, $100 a foot for that stuff, depending on how big it is. If it gets real big, it gets real expensive. You're buying bigger
Mhm.
sheets now. And
Mhm.
if you don't have a brake, I don't even recommend doing it on your own brake. Not that I've never done it, but I recommend doing it on a commercial brake where they could type in the numbers and everything gets broke
Perfect. Yeah.
exactly the same and perfect. It's if you don't have a lot of experience with that, a normal brake's just not as sturdy. I feel like
Well,
it's
and yeah, they're going to end up bending 027 or 032 at best,
yeah,
right?
you want like
On
some
their Van Mark
040.
siding brake. You know what I mean? So you want something structurally. Like a good example of that is I'll give you guys some secret sauce. As long as you're licensed and insured, you can go to public storage. You know about public storage jobs. I'm sure you've done a
Oh
couple
yeah,
in your
yeah.
day. Those are great contracts, and they've always paid. At least I've done them all around the country. They're usually 2 weeks to 30 days to get your 17,000 or 20,000. But I've worked on at least 100 of those public storages, and everybody knows because a lot of people use them. The downspouts are smashed up in there, and the gutters are smashed up in there. So here's some more free sauce. They have to have those fixed. Public storage actually in their fine print guarantees that because of water hazards of people's stuff being in storage units, that those have to be always fixed and without tears and rips. I can't remember the exact language. So if you see that stuff messed up, hit them with the quote. You'd be surprised. They want it fixed immediately, and public storage doesn't play with the money. They got bags.
It's cheaper
So
than buying someone's whole storage unit because they got water damage.
exactly. And those average tickets on public storage for repairs, and all of them that I've done is around $15,000. You're gonna do 2, 3, 400 feet of downspouts, box, smooth. You can order those from a sheet metal place. We'll eventually talk to you. I have a partner that's gonna start having this stuff more readily for you. But you've also got Buddy Farrell. You've
Yep.
got who else? I mean, there's some other people we could shout out when it's right. Uh US Gutter has that stuff, buddy. Anyway, there's other people. Coastal can get you some stuff, blah blah blah. when you put it back the right way, like, could you go do a public storage right now with your K-style and talk them in to just fixing those 12-foot sections? No, they want it back that the octagonal. I don't even know the true name for that, and I'm a gutter guy, but it's that octagonal
Yeah,
gutter on public. We break it ourselves on our break, and we'll make 18 or 19 or 20 or 12 of those pieces in the break. It's good team building to have a couple guys working together, making sure those measurements are really dialed in, right? And then going out and installing that stuff's fun. And we're usually depending on the size of them, public storage units, anywhere between like $40 and $70 a foot. And
right.
they pay.
They pay,
You
and
know,
they don't blink an eye of it.
oh,
What
they give you
people don't
30,
realize,
30, $40 a foot on those commercial downspouts,
once
little
you get
one
in,
story, easy.
once you get into commercial, everything's expensive. So they're used
Yeah.
to it. It's not just their gutters, it's everything's expensive. Their roof is
Yeah.
double the price. Anything that you do in commercials, like at least double, maybe more.
Talk to the fear a little bit. People think because like going to do track homes, we go try
Well,
to do
they
David
think,
Weekly and Pulte. That's different. They
yeah.
want the $3 an hour guys to build these crap homes. And I'm sorry if you live in one of those, and I've lived in one, and we all do what we can. And track homes are track homes. They're all built at this day and age very, very, very fast. We all know that's why they give these 1-year home warranties. They basically give you the house for free. Those contracts suck. Now, if you go over to the commercial side of things,
It's a different story.
they want them built right. They're leasing out these buildings. Companies are running out of these buildings. They're doing business out of these buildings.
Now, what a lot
Homeowners
of
are
people,
just,
I think, get scared of is a good majority of commercial gutter goes underneath the roof. You
yeah,
don't
for
have
sure.
to go doing roof surgery. You could take like a pair of nibblers or shears.
Nibblers, baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Come down 3 inches. If you want to be real professional, hit a chalk line and then just
Cut that bad boy off.
cut that bad boy off. Nice and consistent. 3 inches, 3 inches down. That way
Mhm.
you got 3 inches to keep you waterproofed. And
Yeah,
a
you can,
lot of
that can
people don't,
become your drip edge.
a lot of people don't know this, but by design, a gutter is generally not going to back up. And the reason why is by design, the back of the gutter is like a half inch, an inch taller.
Yeah.
That's important too. When you make these break gutters, you want to make sure that if
The
you're
back is
going up
higher.
under the drip edge, that you're not bending a gutter that's not taller in the back.
Yep. 100%. And you don't need to slam it all the way so that if you do have that 3 or 4 or 5 inches
You
that
got
is
pitch
sitting in the
room.
bottom of the gutter. Yeah, you just want some pitch room. So you don't want that new drip edge we've created out of that commercial gutter to be sitting in the bottom of the gutter. You want a couple inches.
Correct.
My good friend Brian Denemy called me. He runs the Oklahoma City Brothers Gutters, and they were doing that exact commercial job. So I'm curious to hear, but I sent him up to Home Depot. And I said, get the nibblers.
I
So
did
look
some
at
work
this,
in
man.
Oklahoma City. I
Yeah,
did,
that's a nice
yeah, I
place
did an
out there.
apartment complex there, and I did some storm work, probably like
Yeah,
4 years ago.
I think they just ran through some storm work. So
What's
what
that?
else do we got? I said, I think they just ran through some storm work. Let me tell you a quick story about me and Corey on some commercial. So actually,
Corey, which one?
Corey Bigham,
Okay.
Corey Bigham, this
Corey,
was
Corey
right.
worked for me too, and actually, I think
Yeah.
didn't you refer him to me? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a small world, man. Corey's
Yeah.
a good guy, and I'm glad to see he's 100% back in action.
Yep.
Long story short, me and Corey stopped working at Jerry's, and this was for about a month and a half before we decided to move to San Antonio to work for Nathan, and that's when I started my journey with Brothers Gutters, a couple weeks over 5 years ago. And I said, Corey, I got my good friend Gabriel. He's the owner of Royal Gutters down in Miami, a really good friend of mine. He says, hey, man, you need some work? Come on down. This guy's always got commercial work. So we did the FedEx building in Miami, and it's the hub where all the semis back up. And that's
Yep.
exactly what it was. We got up there, and it was Gabe, tell us in the comments, please. Get us some interaction. I want to say it was 500 or 600 feet, this building. It was forever. And we had to cut it all off. And you know the trick, like one guy on the lift pushing out with the big pry bar, because
Yeah.
when it's really tight to the concrete, the nibblers want to jam. We want to
Yeah, you
fly,
want to keep
right?
it spaced out.
Yeah, he pulls it and then he moves 4 or 5 feet down and pulls it. And I'm on the roof, cutting
Cutting
it off
away.
on the roof. And Corey's cutting it. We're cutting. So that was the last job me and him did together for Gabriel. That job turned out sweet. And I think to give you a perspective, we probably made like 4 or 5 thousand bucks as installers in 2 days. Like
Yeah.
I think Corey made like 2 grand and I probably made like 3 grand on that job in 2 days. You can imagine what the owners are making. All we
Oh
do is
yeah.
cut it off, put it back, and then of course commercial downspouts. We're going to be teaching that, right? When the time's right, we're not only hand cuts, we're going to teach you how to hand cut commercial downspouts because the money's right there too. Oh yeah, the money's right there.
Yeah, I mean, I got $30 to $50 a foot on box downspout.
That's
If it
where
was
we are.
huge, maybe even more.
That,
But
that's where we are. 40 to 50 on 3x3, 3x4 or 4x4, which is most common. Four
you
by
could
four is the
expect to
most
pay
common.
maybe 750 a foot if you're having someone make them for you. You
It's
know,
a little bit more right now in
is
San
it maybe
Antonio,
10?
bro.
Maybe my prices
Start
would be $60 a foot right now, but
they've went up and this is also San Antonio. They don't make a lot of that. It's more popular in Florida.
yeah.
But we have a
US
guy
Gutter's
that'll
got
pump them up.
US Gutter's got the
Yeah,
machine now that seams it.
yeah.
So that way you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to use a
The
Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh.
machine.
Oh, they got the
I
seamer,
hate
yeah.
I hate the Pittsburgh, bro. Like on the
Yeah.
side, I don't like looking
I
at that.
can't stand that either. Yeah.
And then they
Well, the
shift.
thing is, when you close them, right, you got all that meat you got to try to get over so you can. Yeah, I prefer it in the back all day long. That side one is like, oh, hey, you remember? Let's go back in time real quick. You remember when it was like you had to peel all that blue
Yeah,
protection
yeah,
off
yeah,
of
yeah.
the gut, the commercial gut before the
Well,
machine?
it was still like that when I bought it from US Gutter.
Well, yeah, no, for sure. But I haven't installed for a while, so I haven't had to peel any
Yeah,
for
that
a
stuff
while.
like there's a trick to it.
Yeah. You got to cut the seam,
You
right?
almost
Cut it with the
gotta, if you
razor.
got like 500
And then
foot of that, you almost gotta have a helper there for 2, 3 hours just sitting there peeling for you.
you peeling for
But
hours.
it's when you get it like that, it's
It's a
professional.
high end
There's
it's a high
scratches
end
on it.
product.
It's
Yeah,
easier
it's
to transport.
mm-hmm. Yep. No, that's the right way. There's and that's why we charge what we charge because there's a process to all this stuff. It's heavier to work with. You're gonna offer if I do a commercial building, Tim, I'm giving a lifetime warranty on like a
Yeah.
commercial gutter, and you can call me crazy. Like on the back, if I'm doing the back of a Home Depot, I'm gonna warranty that for life. It's gonna work just fine. I'm putting the right size up there. I'm gonna put 4x5s or 5x5s or 6x6s or 8x8s, whatever it may be.
Don't use
I'm gonna do it the right way.
the zip screws because then those are going to start rusting in a few years and it looks big
Don't
and
do it.
bulky, like
Yeah.
especially if you got 10-foot sections and you're seaming them. Use
Yep.
rivets.
Yes, absolutely. And use the right size rivets, not the teeny ones.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah, you
mean?
need stronger ones on commercial.
Um, what else do we got commercial on the commercial side? Well, let's talk a little bit too on the commercial side. Your installers, because I want to make sure that I'm talking to you installers. You can demand more money once you get good on the commercial side. And not that you need to go to your boss, say, hey, Grant or Tim or Kip or Frank or whoever, like, oh, you better give me. No, you're gonna have more value, right? You're going to probably know how to do harnesses. You're going to know how to run the lift. So the owner's already charging more money. There's more involved. There's got to be safety. You've got OSHA involved. You got your hard hats. You might have to have some boots.
That's
Like,
another thing. Don't play with OSHA on commercial.
no, don't play with them ever, but definitely not on
Period, but
commercial.
especially commercial.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, TapCon also definitely. I mean, I
I
do
always
TapCon on
use,
home. Yeah, on homeowners, but
especially if you're giving a
definitely
long
Everest.
warranty. I never gave that long of a warranty. I gave like 5 years, no matter what it was.
No, we're a 5 year, but I'm just saying
Okay.
if I needed to, like someone said, hey, I'll go with you, but you give me a lifetime warranty on a commercial building, I'm gonna say, all right, we're doing it the right way anyway.
But I used stainless steel Tapcons. They're a little bit more, but you know what? They're never going to rust. And so that's the route that I took. I like the stainless steel Tapcons.
Stainless steel for sure.
Yeah, it's
100%.
going to last forever.
And did you, when you, speaking of, let's tell them a little bit while we're on this line of where to get commercial stuff if you don't have it. So, like, did you go to like a Fastenal or something and get a lot of your different types of screws, i.e., these stainless steel Tapcons, or where did you pick them
Yeah.
up? Did your supplier have them?
No, I went to button or bolt and nut companies.
Bolt and nut
Or
companies.
nut and
So,
bolt.
like, yeah, nut and bolt out here. That's what we use is American. It's literally called American Nut and Bolt, and it's right around the corner from us. I get my blue Tapcons, any stainless, all my pop rivets. I get them in colors and stainless. I get my
They usually
copper.
sell Volcom too. I would buy my
They
Volcom.
gotta,
Yeah.
yeah, they gotta. Those places, they do got. They're That's like a little man's heaven without the BS, right? They got all the cool
Yeah.
uh sockets and breaker bars and chisels and diamond drill bits and the Diablo, the super big Diablo saw
Blades.
blades and stuff.
Yep.
All the cool safety gear. I always loved going in those places. Like, oh, you could smell the Volcom in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the grease on the stuff. So
The
remember to
Valcom, just for guys that don't know, like why we use that caulk sometimes. I used it for copper mostly. If
mhm,
it called for it, I
if it
soldered.
called for
If
it,
I
yeah.
if it called for it, and the reason why is it had an elastic. It stretches with the
Yeah,
copper.
it's
It doesn't
elastomeric
harden.
poly, yeah, triple
Right.
polymer.
I have a chart of it somewhere, but it's something like um I think it's every 50 feet, copper can grow 3/4 of an inch.
Yeah, I know something about that. I don't know the exact numbers, but yeah, I've been in the business for so long. And listen, the haters are gonna come out of the woodwork. Oh, you just said you put caulk on copper. Okay, so come kill us. Do we do that all
Well,
the time?
when it
Me and Tim,
calls for it,
when it
like
called for it,
when
like
it
they have
called for
you,
it.
like people like to beat people up over one statement, like it means you're a hack. Listen, I've had several customers tell me they absolutely do not want their copper gutters soldered,
I've had
and they
that.
gave reasons why. And okay, if you're gonna tell me you're gonna walk away from $100,000 copper job just because they literally say I don't want you to solder it and you can't change, I'm not gonna sit there and freaking argue with these people, man. Like,
No.
okay, oh, I hear so many people, oh, I would have turned that down. It's right or nothing. Like, okay, dude, yeah,
Well, it's definitely not wrong. It's just it's gonna leak a lot faster. So I always
yeah,
prefer to do copper. I mean, I would say 99.8%
yeah, it's
of the
solder.
time I was soldering.
Hmm.
You're gonna have situations when you're doing gutter for 20 years, you run into these situations like that.
Yeah, I see. Man, there's so many arguments, and we just want to kind of educate the industry from our point of view. I can say doesn't mean that my point of view is directly correct in every situation, but I would hope that y'all would trust me, especially y'all that really know me or have worked with me. Same for Tim. Like we give 100% to our careers for a long time, and we have combined along with other people, our ex-employees, our ex-partners, our ex-bosses, people we know, companies we worked at, combined. I mean, there's a lot of satisfied customers that we did right by. And that's what we want to tell y'all is about our experiences and how we made money, how we made mistakes, right? We both started
You made plenty of
at
mistakes.
0 2. Come on now.
Still make mistakes.
Still make mistakes. Yeah. We're making a mistake right now, giving y'all our secrets.
Well, we didn't give them the secret. There's a way to get these jobs, and I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah. You know what I
You
mean?
should
You
join
got
our
to come
mastermind group.
come find out in the mastermind. So I want to touch briefly on, and we got more commercial stuff to talk with you. We're going to chat with you guys for a little bit. But when I said know your numbers before you get wrapped up in commercial, there's a time and a place in every industry, in each individual's career, and there's an order in which you want to do things, and you can't do them all overnight. When we talk about growing your business, we really get to know you to see where you're at in business. We want to know your vision, your why, whatever you want to call it. We want to understand who you are, what your morals are. What's the end game? Is it we just signed a guy up in the group that wants to give the gutter business to his family? We're going to coach him differently, right? Not like with extra care. we know what his end game is. He better only buy high quality stuff. You know what I mean? It's gonna every trailer, truck, all that stuff needs to be around for a while.
Some guys
Or
are in rural areas. I mean,
yeah,
there's different strategies. Nothing's in a box.
nothing's in a box to do that and just capitalize. We want to help tailor, just help tailor, not tailor it for you. We're not gonna just tell you if you do this, and this, you're gonna go make money without coming to your city, without opening a business. That's not our interest.
A
We want to
coach's
help.
job isn't to do it for you. A coach's job
Mm,
is to teach you, and it takes you being a good student. And if you're not a
yeah,
good student, if you don't listen to anything that anyone tells you, and not
yeah.
all advice is right advice, but that's what I like about the mastermind group. You get so many different viewpoints, and it's like the meeting of the minds. When you get two people talking about something, a third brain forms.
Oh yeah, it's really cool. Hey, our last meeting, we were super proud of that. That was really cool. We had a massive turnout. Our group is growing exponentially. We're letting in the right people, right, at high levels and low. I'm really excited to see what Tucker's gonna do. I think that I got to spend the day with that kid. He's very
Yeah,
intelligent,
yeah,
and
you
I don't
came
mean
out of your
kid.
shop for a
I
day.
don't. Yeah, I don't mean to say he's a kid. He's young, 21 or 22 years old,
It's young
and
to
there's a
me.
couple other. Yeah, I mean it's young, but I didn't mean to say kid. But Tucker is an intelligent guy. He's going to be really successful, and you see him absorbing it up. And then we got people, Tom. He's growing
Yep.
really, really well, and he gives tons of feedback. And we're not threatened by that. We love that. It's leaders creating leaders within the program. Who else? Christopher, I'm really excited. We got that power huddle in two
Oh
nights.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
know
From sales.
he's going to bring the guys such great sales value. And it's nice to hear stuff from other people, not just me and you. It continues to validate the same thing, which is a system, not a one size fits all. Listen, some CRMs are great. Everybody has different visions. Some CRMs are great for this size company or that size. Box trucks for some people, trailers
Trailers
for
for
other.
others.
Hey, Christian Moorcraft, ex UFC fighter, he's in our group. I just called him out. This dude's
Yeah.
awesome, right? And look at how this guy is growing on his
He's
own.
focused. He's focused and he wants to learn. And when you have that hunger for knowledge, you just soak it up. And I'm proud of that guy.
I'm really proud. And we're not doing it for him. We're just giving him some nuggets. He's doing the work. He's doing the work. All of that success is going to contribute to him
And he
and his
just got a
decision
half round
making.
machine. So now he's breaking into a new market, making higher margins.
And mark my words, you know it. In the next 90 days to 60, next 3 months to 6 months, he's gonna start teaching other guys what he went through with us for the past 6 months. And he's gonna
Absolutely.
have a success story. And every success story is gonna be different. And you can make as much money as hard as you work.
Yeah.
This business ain't easy.
No, it's
Come on.
it's not an easy game. But I love it. And if you're passionate about business, expect challenges to keep happening because they're never going to stop. And you just keep learning and growing and learning and growing
Mm-hmm.
and growing. And that's just life.
You got to learn the fundamentals first, though, right?
Oh,
I
I
wore
love
that
it.
shirt today.
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
to
yeah.
you have to know the fundamentals. So in our group, we're teaching you the fundamentals. Let's go back to the commercial side real quick. Um, what's like the craziest commercial? Anything like wild story or just weird gutter or super sketchy building? I know, yeah, I know. Me and
You
you
know what?
both been up
I
on
got a
some
story,
massive
bro.
lifts.
I
Okay, go
almost
ahead.
got killed on a commercial building. I would have been here. So I was
Oh
doing
man,
you probably know this building. I was doing a
is
Home
it in
Depot.
West Palm Beach?
Yep. 441 and Southern Boulevard. You know that Home Depot right there in the corner? So I had a
Yes.
guy on the
My
roof.
house was right there, just a couple miles down the road in Wellington before I
Yeah.
moved here.
So we're back there, it's a plaza. And
Yeah.
I had my box truck parked right here. There's like 20 feet between the box truck. It was parked in a parking spot. There's like
Okay.
20 feet between the box truck and the building. And I had a guy on the roof doing tear downs. He saved my life. Um, And I was getting ready, I was on the side of the truck and I was getting ready to step out and walk past the truck and a UPS truck. You know how they always drive crazy as hell?
Come
Dude, a
flying around
UPS
that
truck in the
corner.
back of the plaza was going 50 miles an hour behind this plaza, bro.
I know
And,
exactly where you're talking
and
about.
there was this big puddle on the ground, bro, and I just got drenched. It was like,
Oh,
woo! And I was just
well, thank God
all
he
my face,
didn't.
bro. But the
Thank
guy
God
up
he
on the
didn't hit
roof was
you.
like, Tim, stop. And that's what saved me, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it just takes a second, right?
Just
It
takes a
just takes a
second.
second.
You know, this is
Um,
a dangerous business. You got to be careful, and you know, it can
I
be.
did, I
So
did.
you want to have
My
your harnesses and take every safety precaution you can.
It's better to be safe. When we get young, we're young and stupid, but that one mistake, that one bump, one of my Therion, he was telling me a story. I'll tell on him a little bit. Luckily, it wasn't bad, and it's happened to everybody. But he was driving the lift, so we got Theo certified to drive the lift around and do that on that big project we just did. By the way, the apartments took 2.5 days. Those
Yeah,
guys knocked
good.
it out of the park. I love that. It
Beast.
didn't take them three, and it came out beautiful. So anyway, he was driving and he hit a little bump, right? And he had the arm back up a little bit, and I showed him how to bring everything down, but bring the bucket up so you can see over and you can still drive really fast.
Yep.
He had a ways to go. He's cruising through this place, but he had that bucket up, and he wasn't going real fast, but he hit a bump. Well, you know what that does back here. He went into the
Boom.
air. He went into the air, but he had his tether
Harness.
on him. We had
Okay.
his harness, but he had that little tether that goes to the thing. And he
Yep.
went up a little bit, and I believe he said it caught him and pulled, it must have went about 3 feet. Boy, your hands are on the thing. And I've been there too. I've
You ever
been there,
get
Russ,
stuck in a lift? You ever
bro.
shake it to get it straight so you can move it?
The last one year I worked with Jerry, we got stuck 3 times. Two of them are definitely my fault. I know better. So out like Boca West area, Boca
Yeah.
South out there, and then they got all those like stucco golf course, just condos everywhere. And they got all the sprinklers, and then it rains in Florida, and you're out there, and you just always get stuck in those shits. And we got stuck twice, but 2 times in the last like 6 months, me and Alejandro, who we just been catching up recently, uh, one of them just died, and we were 60 feet up. Like it
Wow.
just completely died. We had to wait, dude, for like 2.5 hours for them to
Then to
come
come do
out.
it
Yeah, and then
and take it in.
another time. Speaking of commercial stuff, we're right in that same area in Boca, working on some of those like 7 and 8 story condos. So we had that 90-foot boom out there,
Is that
and we're
Miser
at
Park?
yes, you know
Yeah,
exactly where
I
everybody's
do.
worked out there, got some money. So we're working out there, right? We're running 4x5 downspouts, but we were smart. We built them on the ground like 60 feet, shoved them together, put a couple screws in, and then you hold that thing and you start raising the lift, and one guy holds it, and that way you can lean it up and just hit straps the whole way. I mean, this is when we were making killing,
Yeah.
making like $700 to two thousand
What's
bucks a
the
day,
tallest
depending.
building you've been on?
Um, Man, I did some work downtown Detroit on a couple buildings that were probably 30, 40 stories, but not like
Oh
hanging
wow,
off. Yeah. Um, Maybe
that's high.
25 stories or something.
Yeah,
Some
I
crazy
went
high shit.
13. And my Miser Park,
Um,
I did 13 story there.
the most sketchy heights I've been on was on top of the New Orleans where the Saints play. What is that? The Superdome. That was after Hurricane Katrina. We did some painting of it. We recoded it, and I was on a team. I'm gonna I'm gonna say what it is real quick. It's called well, now it's the Caesars. Anyway, the craziest commercial gutter I ever did was at a church in Detroit. And it was like a multi-tiered. I still don't know the name, but anyone that's worked with me, especially in the past 10 years, know I build this often for certain homes. And essentially, you build a back, and then you build a face and a bottom, so you could build like a 12-inch gutter. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then you just keep adding to it. You lock it, you create a hem, and then you add another part of the front and another part of the front. It ends up looking like this massive cathedral gutter,
Mhm.
and it's a foot and a half tall in the back. And then it's, 9 inches on the bottom. And then it comes up 4 feet and has like a hook. And you hook another one in, come up and over and out, and you just keep building this. And I would say at the very opening of the gutter, I mean, it was like a good 18 inches.
I had one that I liked.
And it was
18
heavy
inches,
shit.
that's huge, bro.
It was 18 inches and it was on this church. I'm trying to remember the name
How
of this church.
did the water fill up high enough to where the seams didn't touch it, or do you have to seal that?
So the gutter was already pre-made. It was something that was made. I don't remember who made this because this was about probably 15 or 18 years ago. But it was just the craziest commercial gutter. And we had it in 10-foot sections. And it was super ass heavy, dude. And I was young. It was a crazy, crazy fun. So
Were
that's
they
the first
thin?
time we soldered aluminum.
Oh, I've never done that.
So my buddy Tim Doonan, he's an up and coming guy, and he talks in a lot of the chats. And the guy's cool, and he's a good friend of mine. He worked for me and Kip. He went, I think, to Prime out here locally, but now he is like the head manager, general manager, whatever, of the gutter department for Rhino Roofing, San
Okay.
Antonio, Austin. And he's a real interesting cat. He's really awesome at hand tabs. And we talk about all that kind of stuff. And I forgot where I was going with Tim. Um,
Huge gutter. Oh, soldering, aluminum.
he just called me last week and said, "Hey bro, I have a customer that absolutely wants their aluminum soldered." And I said, "No, man." Like, and he was telling me who he's gonna try to have to do it. And I'm like, no, 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 because we all shared employees. And I'm like, no, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. But for people that don't know, you can solder aluminum, and you need to do it with a very low amount of heat. And if you already know how to solder, I'm not going to give it away here. It's really not that hard, but it is a delicacy. It's just something you need to be very careful at. And you don't want to obviously heat it up so that that baked enamel starts to bubble and turn colors. No different than copper, but
Yep.
aluminum, you got to be really careful with it. So I did back in the day when I was younger, I worked for a guy and that's what I had to do was solder. That's what he wanted. And that's when I learned how to solder. My dad
On
was
every
also an
job?
engineer, so he messed with soldering. Yeah, I
Every
did that
job?
for, yeah, I did it for like a year.
Wow.
Every
He's
job we
wild.
soldered. Yeah, K style, end caps, you name it. I didn't know. I was just still learning the trades. I was young.
Once you
And so
understand,
when someone told me that's what I was supposed to do and showed me how to do it, then when I got reintroduced back to caulk, dude, oh my God. It was like, I can't fucking believe this.
but to
This
be
is how
honest
we
with you,
should be doing.
Grant, most companies are running from this, and that's why it's so easy for you to come in and charge top dollar because they're getting told, "Oh, I can't do that," or "I don't do that," and sometimes you're the fifth person they called, and finally they find someone that could do it. Name your
Yeah,
price. It's getting done. You know,
absolutely.
like I remember this
Uh,
one job I had. You probably know this building too. Lake Worth Road,
hmm
Lucerne.
Whereabouts?
Where
By
you
the
you, you
drive-in,
you
by
take
the
you go over
drive-in
the bridge
theater.
and you hit the beach. You know where the beach is there?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. What is
Yeah.
that? What's after the end right there? There's a little
There's like
couple
a pier and
restaurants.
there's a bunch of
Yeah,
restaurants,
yeah, yeah.
mulligans.
That's the
Um,
spot right there.
yeah, it's a cool spot. But they had
Yeah.
they had these pipes that came out that were just dumping water on top of a 10-inch crown molding that was all styrofoam. So you
I
got
can
this crown
imagine.
molding, it's like 10 inches, and you got a pipe that's just dumping pretty much on it, ruining it,
It just rolls
ruining the
down it. Yeah,
paint.
typical
Yeah.
Florida.
So I had to have a gutter on top of that crown molding, and it's 11 inches. I'm like,
Oh
man, I don't want
yeah.
to put, you know, 20-inch bolts through this. So what I
No.
did was I took stainless steel, there were stainless steel hangers because it was on the beach.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I did aluminum gutter because that's what they wanted, but still I did the stainless steel. And so then
Yeah. The
Um,
brackets fail first for you guys that are curious. Like that bracket, and we know really well. Like if you put an aluminum bracket oceanside anywhere within a quarter mile ish,
it'll
half a mile,
fail.
mile, a little different, but within a quarter mile of the ocean, I mean that bracket might only last 3 years before it's completely corroded and breaks in
The
half.
salt's just so destructive. But what I did
Yep.
was I took a thick gauge. I worked with a sheet metal shop,
Uh
and I
huh.
took a thick gauge aluminum. I think it was like quarter-inch thick,
Yeah.
and I put the hidden hangers inside the gutter, and I took stainless steel nut and bolt, and we
Mm-hmm.
built this bracket that like came down to the back of the gutter so that I could put nut and bolt on it, and it went up over top of the crown molding, and then went back up, and I was able
Oh,
to tap onto the wall. You know, when you
massive
can use your
flashing.
yeah, when you can use your brain and think and solve problems, you can get big money because
Yeah.
everyone else is saying, I can't do it. I can't do it. There's styrofoam. What do you expect me to do? Figure it out. Design a way,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
You know what else was another really cool one? This is, credit to you and Corey, one of your last jobs. You know which
Oh,
one I'm
dude.
talking about? He
No,
rolled out
I
that
invented
copper.
that, bro.
That's fucking
You
badass,
seen that? The
man.
seamless one? The seamless
I watch I watch everything, dude. I'm
yeah, so
interested in people that are innovative and have high quality. That's definitely what you were.
you want me to tell you about that one?
I do. I want everybody to hear about it. That's
So
cool.
this one was a builder had an inlay roof, an inlay gutter in the roof.
Like a Yankee. A lot of people calling it Yankee gutters,
Yankees,
right?
yep.
So,
So they had pitchboard. So this pitchboard was already shaped like a gutter. And then the idea is that you break gutter and it sets on top of that pitchboard
hmm
because that way you don't got to worry about the pitch. It's already got it. Um, so what we did,
But
and they were adamant about seamless. I'm like, well, I can't make it through a machine and make it fit your pitchboard. And
exactly,
it just so
it's
happened to
always
be
seemed. It's always seemed.
sometimes I get into these stupid hobbies. So I was trying to make a copper fountain. So I'm sitting here
Okay,
learning how to make leaves and stuff out of
I've
copper
been there.
scrap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, but when I was making those fountains, I was researching how to mold the copper, and you got to heat it up. So I got one of those big torches and a big propane tank, and me and Corey went out there, and another guy, and it was mainly Corey doing the work, but I got him set up. So we went
yeah,
out there and we heated up. We unrolled it was a 60-foot piece. So we unrolled
yeah.
50 foot of copper gutter. I think I had to use 20-inch gutter. And this stuff's a
It
little
looks big. Yeah,
yeah, it's big.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so anyways, we heated it up because it makes it soft and pliable. And then once I got the whole thing scorched, scorching it is a technique that you use. So after it's heated up, you got to pour water on it.
Pour
And
water
it
on
cools
it.
it down super fast and it makes the material softer. So then we rolled it back up, took it up on the roof, rolled it out, took some
And it's like working with lead.
yeah, we took big pieces of wood and mallets and we formed it because it was pliable. We formed it to the size of the pitchboard. And on
So
the
cool.
ends, it was open, so we had two collection boxes on each end. Um, that way, even if the piece did grow or shrink a little bit, it's not going to matter because it's just
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to the ends, and it went right into the box and put downspouts down. But that was cool, man. I don't think anyone's ever done a job like that.
That was really, really, really cool,
Yeah.
man. I'll never forget watching that transform. And that is the luxury, guys. I mean, of commercial style gutter. Get your basics, get your fundamentals together so that you can grow in your business and start, we'll just give you one more thing. This isn't necessarily commercial, but I'm going to give you guys a secret real quick and welcome to the club if you can go out and buy one. I'm not saying there's not better money in the industry, but the best money initially is not copper gutters and all this and that because you got to know how to attract those customers.
You'll
It's five
find more
inch.
commercial easier than you'll find copper. There's tricks to
Correct.
getting them both, but
Correct.
the low hanging fruit is to get into commercial.
Mm-hmm. You want your half round machine, your 6 inch half round machine that takes 5 inch coil, aluminum. It's your initial low level moving up into the bigger world. Start doing half round aluminum. That margin on that 5 inch coil, you're gonna get 2.5 feet on every pound. On your 6 inch coil, you're getting 2.1, we call it
And
two.
you could charge more than you can with 15-inch coil.
Yeah, you can go out there and charge, if you wanted to, there's all different markets, but let's just say you're charging 15.99 to 19.99 for 6-inch
Let's not
half
talk
round
too much
gutter.
half round because we actually have a podcast coming
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
It's about half round. We're gonna
you're
bring
right.
in some hangers and show you guys. So look out for
Yep.
that one. What, next
There we
week?
go. Yeah, I mean, let's punch it
Yeah.
out in the next few days and we'll have it for them. We got continuous stuff. You guys see, we're not letting up. Tim did some lights. He's back. It's going to be a really long year of education for you
We're putting
guys.
the gas down, and we have some news that we're going to be launching here soon.
Very, very, very soon.
Yeah, we're putting in a lot of work behind the scenes.
Yeah. So look for that, and we're timely with what we're talking about. We're timely with it. So what else briefly on so get to know your collector boxes, whatever you call them. Collector boxes. What do you guys call them?
Um,
Collection
we
boxes,
call it
collector
different
box.
stuff. Collection box, header
Yeah.
box,
Yeah. Scupper
um,
box.
scupper
I mean,
box.
yeah, like, and I'm aware that a scupper is the smaller little piece you can put at the bottom of a gutter, but collector, right? So they're essentially these boxes are used for design on fancy homes, but like on banks and commercial gutters, you're going to have your lower parapet hole, and that's your square that comes off of your flat roof. And you usually see another one just a couple inches up. That's your overflow in case that roof were to fill, 6, 7, 8 inches up in a massive rain. You're going to take your collector boxes and depending on how you have them made or what size, you can cut out a square in the back. You can flash it in around your hole and bring it up. That way, as that water pours out of that parapet hole, it's going to come into that collection box. But, you can also sell these on customers' homes. They're a great markup and they're just an added beauty to that. Hey, hold on. Let me see. What would Chat GBT say? It would say, collector heads, adding to your timeless uh presentation of your historic home.
And
Timeless
there's different
everything.
ways to do it. I mean, you could have the ones made on a break,
Mm-hmm.
that's boxy, that's more like the commercial look, or you could
Yep.
get these really. I don't even know how to make them. I'm sure you probably do, but like the ones
Yeah.
from K&M or US Gutter, some of these really nice stamped ones. I think they're stamped, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they get pretty fancy, you know.
If and when there ever arrives some type of coaching course, I think that would be on the higher level side of teaching people at least to make the basic collector boxes. You're in a rush, you just closed a deal, maybe you don't have a lot of work and you just need to, throw two of these things together so you can sell them for 250, $300 each and you got scrap metal and a brake. I can show you how to do that. You can
Well,
make
what I
six.
did when I made them, because I had a couple projects where I'm like, this is a lot of collection boxes and no reason in
Mhm.
paying $100 a piece or $50 or whatever I was paying at the time. So
Yeah, they were all
I
over the
made it in
place.
the shop. So all you got to do is buy one, take it apart, make a pattern, duplicate it, use
Yeah,
rivets.
100%. Yep, it's the patterns where it's at. So knowing that commercial side and then also being just being innovative. The idea here is just collect water. You're just trying to collect water and make sure it doesn't get behind. That's it.
When you're innovative like this, the customers trust you because it's like, whoa, no one else thought about that. This is my guy.
Hey, did you ever use Southern sheet metal in Boynton Beach?
Yeah, a
Well,
time or two.
Southern,
They weren't my main
yeah.
guys, but I've used them a time or two.
That's a little south of you anyway, right?
Yeah.
That
Well,
was
I used
who.
them. It's just I had an alliance. I mean, I'm a loyal guy, so I had a guy that I used
Yeah.
Lion sheet metal. So,
Oh, yeah.
yep, yep.
Yeah. Those are good people. That's where you got all your downspouts too, huh?
Yes and no. Yes and
Did you
no.
get some of your copper downspouts broke there? A little bit, not
More
really.
towards
Not
more
really.
towards the last couple of years, I was getting most of the downspouts through US Gutter because I like the machine that they have to
Yeah.
seam. If you go to a break, if you go the break route, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not machine made, which I would say 99% of it's the break route. US Gutter's exceptional. No one really has that machine.
Yeah.
Um, So, you know, if you do that, a lot of times it gets sealed in the back if they're not doing the Pittsburgh and
Yeah.
just looking, you know, like they caulk the seam in the back and rivet it. So I much rather have it made on a machine so you don't ever have to
Hmm.
worry about it leaking.
Right.
Um, but
And they're true size. I mean, they're
yeah,
true to the
the true
size,
size.
right?
I still rather do the ones caulked in the back than do one that's a Pittsburgh.
Yes. I don't want that damn seam on the side. That thing takes up
Uh,
like a quarter inch,
have you
right? I
ever had
mean,
them where like they slide though? It's like it slides and the downspout
bro,
is crooked. I just hate them.
I'm tired of that shit. I did it in Florida. I mean, Florida, like Orlando to Miami, Key West, for I don't know, on and off 6, 7, 8 years. And all these different companies I worked for at that time when I was just cruising. And you just see it all. And that's when you appreciate when you get to a company that's organized and has systems and has focus and drive. I want to share something big with you, Tim. And I don't know if I already told you, but I feel like I haven't. But I'll tell the industry too. So speaking of commercial gutters, it's funny we went this way. So we were going to talk half round, and I'll say it right off the bat. I forgot to bring the stuff, and Tim about killed me.
Guys,
So I'm still,
we just pick a topic and we talk. We just talk from the back of our head and what we have in our hearts. It's not this
yeah,
isn't scripted here. So like
yeah.
we changed the plans. Grant forgot the hangers. All right, let's
I
talk about
forgot the
something
hangers.
else.
So I'm unveiling immediately, effective immediately, Austin, Texas. I'm going commercial. Did I talk to you about this already?
No,
Okay. So effective immediately, I'm offering 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12-inch gutters, Tim.
that's awesome.
And 4x4 smooth downspouts and 5x5 smooth in all 40 colors with elbows. Now,
Now,
my
when you say
guys,
smooth, are you talking about
I'm talking commercial,
are you
just
talking
box,
about contemporary smooth or are you talking about just box?
commercial
Yep.
box.
Yep.
Yeah, just rough, sharp, just 90-degree, not a beveled corner. Yeah. But
I would
what's cool,
confuse when I would order from US Gutter, I'd always confuse them because I would say
you end up, you
smooth
could
and then
pay
they
a,
know it's
you could pay a,
contemporary.
you get to paying a fortune. I got a bunch of what I don't know. We got 200 feet of white and black contemporary,
Yep.
nice, very nice stuff from US Gutter, um, for a job, and it just something didn't pan out, and I ended up ordering too much or whatever the hell it was. But yeah, it's that contemporary. It's got that nice round corner. Nope.
Yep.
So I'm gonna have 40 colors, 8-inch, 9-inch, 10-inch, 11-inch, 12-inch commercial box gutters. This is not a chop and drop center for the whole world. This is what we're doing, and we're rolling it out. Kip's aware. We rolled it out this past Monday,
That's
and so
sweet.
here we come, commercial side
Here
uh,
comes the profits.
up.
Up.
Yeah, I'll tell you where I'm going to be at on that stuff. $60 to $150 a foot.
Hmm.
I
Which it
could go
should be.
high.
No one has that stuff.
Yeah,
Like
no
you're
one's going to have it.
providing something that no one else is.
I'd like to if anybody's interested in that, you can reach out to me privately. I'm not trying to do a whole bunch with it. And I'm going to defer you to Kip to see if he wants to, bring you in on partnering or anything with that. And I don't mean equity, but just being able to have access to what we're doing. And we're really excited about it. So I think that's going to be cool. And those are huge gutters. And so that just opens up a whole new playing field for my sales guys who are already selling $1 million a year. They're just going to add another $250,000 to $1 million to their top end sales. So
I
I'm
love
really
it.
excited about that. We're going to talk half round next. We have a massive, we are, well, I want to tell them when to look forward to this because we're going to announce it. And Tim doesn't know this yet. So this is live. We're gonna announce it like around the 15th or the 16th, which is basically next weekend.
Okay.
We're gonna announce it live, and our whole team, me and you and John and John. There'll probably be some other buddies right there with us. We're going to announce it live on our podcast, and we're probably going to go Facebook Live, and we're going to tell you guys what we got. And we're going to do it in the same room. And
Because
you
we're
can
going to be at
start to look-
GutterCon together, aren't we?
we're going to be at GutterCon together.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be there representing and helping out with the Gutter app. Tim's going to be over there representing and holding down Gutter Growth. Our other partner, John, is going to be there holding it down, Mr. Pipeline. Our great friends over at Spectra are going to be there like an army, and just a whole bunch of other people are going to be there. Tina's going to be there. Hey, you know what? Adam from our group, he called me just before this and he says, should I go, Grant? I was like, of course. And he's like, set me up. So Adam's coming from Gutter, or Adam.
Great.
He does all that soffit and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's doing gutters. So he's getting his ticket as we speak. We're going to have so much fun. And we have, I would say it's one of the biggest announcements in the gutter industry.
Yeah, this is something the gutter industry doesn't have. The gutter industry needs it, and we're going to be announcing it, and it's going to be nice.
And it's not a seamless gutter machine that floats in thin air.
No.
Makes you millions and millions of dollars overnight. Tim,
It'll
I
make you
appreciate
money.
it. Yeah, this will definitely make you money. I encourage you installers. I want to make sure if you're an installer and you're functioning at a high level and you want to grow and you want to become the owner's right-hand man or a manager or something, share this podcast with your other installer friends at work. Let's bring them up. Remember, this podcast
Yeah,
is
get
free.
your guys listening to it. We're going to be talking a lot about installation, and business, but we want to mix it up. We want to be well-rounded. We want to actually not only teach you just business stuff, but actually, what makes up this business, and that's the installation fundamentals.
The fundamentals, baby. Timmy, it was a pleasure as always, and I know we'll talk soon. Hey, you guys, look for those gutter gates given away. Look for those at the end of every month. We're giving away 50 gutter gates. You have a good night, Tim.
See you, bud.